who was out without sin throw the first stone.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Take a look at it, try to figure it. Here's Clasby just hanging around, and Malinchik comes in and cuts him down. There's where the fight starts. And then Utley jumps on the back of Clasby, but it's Malinchik who came, and I'd have to consider that a bit of a cheap shot. There's a referee who, very brave soul, jumping in a pile there with all kinds of big guys. That's Ron Bochin, the umpire today.
Fred Wyatt sorting it out for us. Jerry Bergman, the head linesman.
This is going to be an interesting call because we're not quite sure if the referee saw the shot from Malinchik onto Clasby's knee there.
The sack was an 11-yard loss.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 74. He is rejected from the game.
Wow. And they have thrown out Joe Malinchik, and Wayne Fonts is furious. He's on the field and is told by Fred Wyatt, step back on the white line.
I have never seen that before. An ejection in a football game. I don't think I've seen one in many, many years, but for an illegal block like that, that tells me the NFL is trying to crack down against cheap shots and injuries like that could have caused, but I'm not sure that that warrants being kicked out of the entire game, though. Amazing call.
Normally, when they have an out-and-out fight with punches thrown, then they may do that, and even then they don't. Let's see.
Watch number 74 circle all the way around here. He had been blocking on Clasby originally, but now he's coming in and going right for the knee. Wow.
So Malinchik is out of the game. The starting right guard for the Lions is gone. He is mad. Furious as well, as we saw, was Wayne Fonts, and it is 4th down, and Jim Arnold will have to kick from the end zone. And Ernie Jones is back deep for the Cardinals. Cardinals are looking at good field position in a 3-3 game. Another great kick from Arnold. Jones on his 30. And Jim Arnold showing that Pro Bowl form, and Jones is down at the 42-yard line by William White. A 64-yard kick, but Joe Malinchik is seething inside.
Introducing the totally redesigned 1990 four-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner. Now the additional performance from its available V6 is combined with additional comfort, additional necessities, and additional doors. Where you go in your new 4-door Toyota 4Runner is your concern. Getting you back is ours.
Come on, let's get it right this time. The word is quality. It means trying harder, going that extra mile. Let's do it. MetLife, MetLife, service with a smile. MetLife, MetLife, go that extra mile. Q-U-A-T-I-L-Y. What's that spell? Quadilly, Quadilly, yeah! Quality, quality. Get Met, it pays.
You know, baseball cards are real popular these days. For one Ron Say, I can get a whole case of my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered-down minor league version of a regular beer. I want the less filling beer that tastes great.
Hey, Ace, give me 2 cases, you can have this baby.
Dream on.
1 case. Nope, a 6-pack. Half a can?
The big league light beer, Miller Lite, where less filling tastes great.
Okay, I'll give you 2 cases, and you don't have to take the card. But that's my final offer. Must have a couple of mine already.
Whoa.
Get ready for a major event.
I'm the major. When I first met Polly, I thought, no way.
You can stare at him some more at dinner.
Major Dan.
I think I'm ready for this detail.
Premieres September 18th.
Still on the bench.
Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, suburb of Detroit. Cardinals and the Lions are tied 3-3 with that much time remaining in the second quarter. Contrast from the first and second quarters, but the Lions defense stopped the Cardinals on 1st and goal at the 4, so we have a 3-3 game. Joe Malinchik has been ejected, starting right guard for the Lions. That has caused a furor here in Michigan. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals on the 42. Screen pass to J.T. Smith, and he may have picked up a first down. Into Lion territory at the 48, Terry Taylor made the stop.
You know, Dick, in baseball, which I know you're very familiar, when you get tossed out of the ball game, you got to go to the showers, right? Well, here's Malinchek still on the sidelines, and I'm not sure what the procedure is. It's been so long since I've seen anybody kicked out of a ball game, but I would think that they'd have to, you know, turn the water on for him.
Isn't it unusual that someone gets kicked out in a game that is relatively free of temper flare-ups?
Well, that was a very unusual call.
First down at the 47 of the Lions. Ron Wolfley, the fullback, in motion. Pitch to Stump Mitchell, going outside. Penalty flag is down, and Mitchell is ridden out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Let's see if we have a holding penalty against the Cardinals.
Forced out by Spielman and Holmes on the tackle. Holding, number 67. First down.
Well, you heard the call by Fred Wyan, and you heard the editorial comment by Louis Sharp.
Yeah, and Luis just letting his family know he's got about 80 tickets or so today for the folks here in Detroit that he really wasn't holding. Come on, Mom, you got to believe me, can't you?
That's the 3rd time that he's been hit with a penalty. By the way, the NFL rule is that if you're ejected from the game, you have to leave the premises, and so the NFL is going to make sure that Mr. Malinchek heads for the dressing room.
I wouldn't want to be the guy that has to escort him off the field, though, would you?
Be a former lineman, I would think. First down and 20, Cardinals on their 43. 3:20 to go in the first half. Play fake. Hogeboom to Green. Nearly made the catch. He was double covered by Holmes and White. And that's the first time they've gone Roy Green's way today.
Lions really need a big game out of Jerry Holmes. Watch this play as he reaches right over the top, avoids any contact there with Roy Green, and breaks up the pass.
In all fairness to Roy Green, as you look at Holmes, is that the plan for Wayne Fontes is to double cover Roy Green. He is perhaps the most explosive threat that the Cardinals have in their offensive artillery.
And on the other side of that coin, Dick, is the fact that J.T. Smith, although a great possession wide receiver, doesn't have the speed to get deep. Roy Green still possesses some of that jet stream.
Smith has caught 4 passes for 60 yards already. Awald with a fine catch gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 48 of the Lions, where he is stopped by Chris Spielman and Michael Kofer. We haven't mentioned Michael Kofer's name much today, as the Cardinals have kept that great rushing linebacker at bay.
Well, he made the Pro Bowl last year. He is an outstanding linebacker, great physical specimen, tremendous size. He's got the Darth Vader look. And yesterday, can you believe a guy like that is trying to sell me real estate? That's his hobby. He buys homes and sells them. I guess that's what you do when your hobby's real estate, huh?
Fixes them up.
He'd be a great landlord, wouldn't he?
Gave us his business card on his way out. 3rd and 9 at the 47. Pressure on Hogeboom, batted in the air by Blades. Benny Blades is having an all-pro kind of first half today.
Well, you know, he was the first-round pick last year for these Lions, and he has really turned out some great plays for us today. Horatio Benedict Blades.
And he said his mother hated that name. What happened?
His father named him. I think his mother has got something there. I mean, Horatio Benedict, at least they shortened it to Benny.
It'll be 4th down, and Rich Camarillo will kick it. Lions were trying to block. We have a marker down, and we may have running into the kicker flag. The ball is stopped at the 1 by the Cardinals. Camarillo went down, and we're going to have a roughing or running into the kicker call against the Detroit Lions. They were coming in to get a piece of it. Make no mistake about it.
Now this really hurts too, because the Lions had done a good job of gaining the momentum back for their football team. They were going to give the Silver Stretch the ball with 2 minutes to go.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 21, 15, first down.
Terry Taylor,
coming from the right side of the screen is Terry Taylor, and this is roughing the kicker. This is the big one, 15 yards, and we'll take a look right here. Great effort trying to lay out for that ball, but he got all of Camarillo.
That's the 6th penalty. for over 50 yards by the Lions today, and it gives the Cardinals a new life.
It really does. It sets them up down there in the 32-yard line, and they got 2 minutes now to get at least 3 points on the board.
2:08 exactly remaining in the first half. Hogeboom. Great catch. Roy Green with his first of the day inside the 15. And that was a thread-the-needle throw by Hogeboom, a gain of 19. Terry Taylor made the stop. And the 2-minute warning is upon us here at the Silverdome, with the Cardinals threatening in a tie game.
For a half-century and more, business travelers have depended on United Airlines to get them to their most important meetings. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
I was always a quarterback's favorite target. I never dropped the ball because I had hands like glue. And even after football, I stick with my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered-down version of a regular beer. I want the less filling beer that tastes great.
Why, not again.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Dwight.
Nice. There's no catch. When it's Miller Lite, less filling tastes great.
Well, how do you play wide receiver in the NFL for over 11 years? This is how you do it. You catch the ball over the middle. Hogeboom really throws a nice ball here, but it's low and it's between people. The concentration from Roy Green is outstanding.
Hogeboom has completed 8 of 11 for those 100-plus yards in Detroit with minus passing yardage, so the Cardinals are really getting their pass rush going here in the second quarter.
The one thing that the Lions defensive coaches were afraid about is that Hogeboom's a streaky passer. He's on a hot streak now.
Well, their quality receivers are coming into their own. The Lions' inexperienced wideouts have dropped a couple. First and 10 on the 13 on the draw. Ron Wolfley is tackled from behind by Benny Blades. So our 2-minute warning is gone by. The Lions have 2 timeouts left. Cardinals have all 3 of theirs.
And one thing the Cardinals want to do is use up as much of this clock as possible. They do have 3 timeouts remaining, so they're in great shape here. This is absolutely the best situation a quarterback or an offense could be in.
Kind of an unusual game. Cardinals have always been a prolific offensive team, and the Lions, with the silver stretch, trying to get something going. J.T. Smith, with his 5th catch of the game, is down at the 6-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down. The clock continues to run, close to a minute to go. Dennis Gibson on the stop.
You know, I get the feeling that the Cardinals offense, they're a very proud group. They've got a number of outstanding veteran football players on their team, a big, strong offensive line. They run a traditional NFL passing offense and one of the best in the game. Maybe they're trying to send a message across the field to this Silver Stretch Ball Club that, hey, this is how you do it in the NFL.
And they're making Hogeboom do it. They're winning around him necessarily. They're not making him carry it all himself. 3rd and 3 on the 6. Ernie Jones and Novacek have checked in for the Cardinals. Out of the shotgun. Hogeboom's pass out of the end zone intended for Novacek. And he was covered back there by William White, the free safety, and doing a good job at it.
This is one of the most difficult areas for a quarterback, especially a new quarterback working with a new set of receivers, the touch pass, where you've got to really just dunk it in over the top of a defender in a small field like that. That time Hogeboom just let it go a little bit too far for the 6'5" Novacek.
This will be a 23-yard attempt. Hogeboom holding for Al Del Greco, who kicked a 29-yarder earlier here in the second quarter. kick is good, and the Cardinals lead for the first time. So the roughing the kicker penalty gave Phoenix new life, and they took advantage of it for a 6-3 lead.
Hey. Listen, if I give you all some wine, do you promise to get out of the kitchen?
Depends on the wine.
I guarantee you like it. Just try it.
Ooh, this is nice.
Have we had this before?
No, I found you something different.
White Grenache. Hey, Gallo. When they start making this?
Y'all happy? Yeah? Good? All right, so out.
Ernest and Julio Gallo invite you to try a remarkable wine. White Grenache. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
It is a defensive battle here in the first half. At Pontiac, the Phoenix Cardinals lead the Detroit Lions 6-3 with 33 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And on the sidelines, Joe Malinchik, who has been ejected from the game, is still on the sidelines. The rule is that he has to be off the field, but there he is.
But the guy on the sidelines that I'm looking at is Barry Sanders. Coaches for the Detroit Lions told us if the game is close, we might see Sanders today. Well, you can't get much closer than 6-3.
There's Sanders, itching to get his first NFL action after signing the other day. $9 million man. Mel Greco will be kicking off. Mel Gray is deep for the Lions. And it's headed over to the side. Jerry Woods, rookie from Northern Michigan, returns it to the 22, and a penalty marker is down with 26 seconds to go.
Illegal block in the back, number 90, 10 yards, first down.
Rookie Keith Karpinski of Penn State. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today, Brent Nerve will have scores and highlights. It's bigger than the office pool, and it's legal. Pat O'Brien has a story of Oregon's new football lottery that's coming up at halftime on the NFL Today. And an Oregon native and a web foot in his own right is Mr. Francis.
Well, no comment on the lottery, but I will give you a score from the Great Northwest. University of Oregon 35, the University of California 19. Go Ducks.
Okay. Good. Looking at it from the end zone, Carl Painter is the running back. 1st and 10 from the 12. On the delay, Painter. Tim McDonald missed him, and Painter got out to the 16-yard line. Clock is running, and you knew you weren't going to see Barry Sanders that deep in Lion territory, and they're just going to let it run out.
You bet. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Sanders in the second half. I don't think the Lions can beat the Cardinals without him.
There's the gun, and that is the end of the first half. So I don't know about the silver stretch, but that Lion defense showed us something, and the Cardinals are getting synced up. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Cardinals 6 and the Lions 3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more? Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. And by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
In this package is over 40 years of experience in overseas shipping and access to more air routes worldwide. Because Flying Tigers has changed its stripes and merged with Federal Express to form the largest all-cargo airline in the world.
Over its life, a Motorcraft battery delivers enough energy to light up a small park, like Candlestick Park. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Matthew, did you lose your razor? I can't get around my Adam's apple. Can't get around half your face.
Introducing the Slim Twin Razor System with the slimmest cartridge to reach every place on every face.
How do I look? Ugly.
New Slim Twin from Schick.
Not all Hollywood agents are like this.
You want him in your movie? You better make me an offer I'm not ashamed to take to him.
But Al Floss is.
How you doing, Al Floss?
And he can't wait to help young Teddy Z until something incredible happens.
That unbelievably stupid kid.
John Cryer is the famous Teddy Z. Premieres Monday, September 18th on CBS.
I love a good mystery.
I love to shop.
I try to catch killers using my wits.
Oh, that's nothing. I try to look good on a budget.
Tim Reed and Daphne Maxwell Reid are Snoops. Premieres September 22nd.
A first, Deion Sanders, wearing the uniform of a New York Yankee, slams a home run in Seattle earlier in the week, signs his contract with the Atlanta Falcons, returns punts for the Falcons today against the Los Angeles Rams, and becomes the first athlete in history ever to hit a Major League home run and score a touchdown in 1 week. Irv Cross, he is Mr. Excitement.
Well, it's really fantastic, Brent. I talked to one of the Falcon coaches last night, and he says Deion has great speed and great quickness, but he's not in football shape yet. He can't take a blow.
Well, he hasn't been hit yet.
Not yet.
Let's take you to the scoreboard now and get you up to date. The Saints, and they're making it look rather easily over the Dallas Cowboys and Troy Aikman right now, 21-0. Jimmy Johnson had a very successful preseason. Welcome to the regular season. And they have scored with Hilliard. They've also returned a punt for a touchdown. And you can hear the cries of "Who Dat" all over Bourbon Street, Mr. Cross.
It's amazing, Brent. You know, last night in talking to some of the Saint coaches, they were really concerned about their team being out of sync. Now here's a punt return for a score.
That's the last one that they put up. 3 touchdowns against that Cowboy defense, 21-0. And you know, the man with the hat, Tom Landry, used to be very successful on opening Sundays. The 49ers and the Colts, and the 49ers right now are up by a field goal in that one. The Rams, and let's take a look at some of the action from that Indianapolis game, Irv. There's the noise meter. Roger Craig scoring for the 49ers, and Chris Chandler to Billy Brooks. They called him down in this sequence. What about it, Irv?
But thank goodness for the instant replay, because this one was overruled, and you'll see why in a minute. They called him down on the 1-yard line, but when they ran it back on replay, watch where the ball lands. Breaks the plane of the goal line. Touchdown.
All right, so they gave the Colts the touchdown in that one, and that has them close right now to the 49ers, trailing by only a field goal. We showed you Atlanta's only no, check that. They just scored again. Just moments ago, the Falcons put in did Deion return another punt, boys? No, they tell me he did not, but they lead it 14-10, and they bust one for 53 yards. So the long play now has the Falcons ahead of the Rams in that one. Cincinnati and Chicago, the Bears and Mike Tomczak not moving the ball. Tampa Bay and Green Bay here. The Bucs looking good. Vinny Testaverde has 1 touchdown and no interceptions. Phoenix and Detroit, and of course the battle of field goals, 6-3. And right after our football coverage on CBS, we're going to bring you the U.S. Open final between Yvonne Lindell and Boris Becker. Should be a good one. Right now, we'll come back with more right after these messages from your local stations.
Get ready for premieres and prizes on CBS. I'm ready. Find your Kmart newspaper circular for your game card. Then watch CBS, match your numbers with ours, and you're an instant winner.
Lots of chances to play and win.
The CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway starts next Sunday. We're ready!
Gene Barry is Pat Masterson. Hugh O'Brien is Wyatt Earp. John Schneider is Pat Garrett. Western legends unite to save Lee Horsley in a world premiere. Paradise, A Gathering of Guns, tonight.
This is CBS.
Welcome back to our New York studio. You know, the start of a new football season is always an exciting time, but the state of Oregon has sweetened the pot this year. They've given fans a chance to win or lose a little money legally. And our Pat O'Brien is in Oregon, where he's been checking out the state's new sports action game.
Football lottery.
Mary Carpenter of Troutdale, Oregon is doing something she's never done before. She's placing a bet on professional football.
Sold America.
For $1, Mary owns 4 games today.
Green Bay, Buffalo, Philadelphia, and Minnesota.
Mary's not alone. Football lottery has arrived in the Pacific Northwest, and the Pacific Northwest loves it.
Oregon Lottery, could you hold, please?
No play action, but a shot. Touchdown!
I'm from Seattle, so I like to watch the Seahawks and LA Rams, Chicago Bears.
Brian Bosworth. Ow, that's right.
You can pick from 4 to 14 games here. Spend from $1 to $20 a ticket. For $1, if you win 4, that's $8. Beat the point spreads on all 14 games, $8,000. The people here are hoping to raise $9 million annually for local collegiate sports and scholarships. They've already raised the interest in the game.
We have people talking about injury lists, weather reports, point spreads. They're comparing our line to the Nevada line on a day-by-day basis. So it's really created a lot of interest in the game, a lot more interest.
Big letters. Football lottery failed in Delaware in 1976, but in 1989, the experts in Las Vegas believe the time is right for those dollar lotto folks.
Basically, it's the old story. Where do you think the money for sports betting should go? Should it go to buy an illegal bookmaker a new Cadillac, or should it go to support intercollegiate athletics in Oregon? I think the answer is pretty easy.
We're concerned about the domino theory. We're concerned that other states will start their own lotteries, creating a whole new generation of gamblers, a whole new group of sports fans betting on our games.
The river that runs through Portland flows ironically to the north, where football allegiances around here have long rested with the Seattle Seahawks. But now, with this little card, football allegiances and $1 here, $1 there will flow in every direction. Up and down the Willamette River, people tell us they love the idea. Their favorite betting team, the 49ers. And you can bet they'll be watching differently.
I think it's going to get the borderline people that didn't really follow football that much before. There's a lot of betting going on, you know that, in football, but it's going to get the housewife that she's going to think, hey, I can sit there and pick a few like my husband has done.
Yeah, we think we might have a winner.
Which brings us back to Mary Carpenter, who is watching today with the remote control in one hand, that ticket in another. $8,000 buys a lot of groceries. Pat O'Brien, CBS Sports, Orient, Oregon.
What's your feeling, Art?
Well, I think it's long overdue, really. I think a lottery like this is managed by the state, gives people a legitimate outlet to go ahead and wager on games. They're doing it anyway. You know, it's overdue.
All right, let's send you back to the stadium now and the game you're enjoying on CBS.
Halftime at Pontiac, Michigan. The Cardinals lead the Lions 6-3. And CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
We recognize how important every 800 caller is to your business. We recognize that. And if for some reason there's a disruption in that service, we know you can't afford to be out of business. We have a new AT&T 800 assurance policy. If you're not getting 800 calls for any reason, if it's an equipment failure, if it's a problem with the network, it doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is getting your calls to you. We guarantee we'll put you back in service to a working telephone line within an hour. That's what the assurance policy does for you.
How much insulation do you have in your attic? 3 inches? 6 inches? Well, the Department of Energy recommends R38 for most American homes, which is equivalent to a foot of Owens Corning pink fiberglass. So grab a ruler and measure your attic insulation. Then get rolling, because 12 inches of pink fiberglass can help you get a foothold on your energy bills.
There are 9 symptoms of leukemia. And one very good reason we're pointing them out. Because with an early diagnosis, your chances for survival have never been better. Check with your doctor about persistent signs. The Leukemia Society of America. We're gaining every moment.
If you need a hand to quit smoking, it's as close as your phone. 1-800-4-CANCER. The Cancer Information Service is free helpline. For answers, for facts, for support to make quitting a little easier. Even if you've tried before, they'll help you try again. And again. And again. So don't give in. Give them a call. 1-800-4-CANCER. And give yourself a hand.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it. Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there. And by Allstate, for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Back here at Pontiac, Michigan, where the Phoenix Cardinals lead the Detroit Lions 6-3 at the halftime. Dick Stockton along with Dan Fouts. And Dan, when you played, you were great at finishing drives, getting in the end zone for the 6 points. And so far we have seen the Cardinals stall in the Lions in preseason. What does it take to go in and get that touchdown?
Well, it's really a belief that you can do it, number one, but it also takes big plays by big play players. You know, you got to have the catch in the end zone. You got to have the great run. You got to have great pass blocking or maybe a great throw. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty from both teams in that department.
Cardinals look like they were coming on in the second quarter. What do you see from maybe the Lions offensively in the second?
Well, I want to see Barry Sanders, number one. I think that he'll give them the lift that they need, the spark that they need. They're not doing anything since that first quarter.
All right, let's take a look now at the halftime statistics. As Barry Sanders is primed in case his number is called. Detroit has the edge on the ground, the Cardinals in the air and overall, but look at the difference in the total plays between the first and second quarter. Almost like two different games, and on the board, not much scoring, and Phoenix has the lead 6-3.
And Hogeboom really looks smooth now. He had a rocky start, bad field position, but he got settled down there. He threw the ball very well, and the Cardinals moved the ball down the field. But the big play at the end of the first half was the roughing the penalty against Terry Taylor that gave the ball back to the Cardinals and gave them the chance to go down and get 3 more points.
There's Barry Sanders. We had a chance to talk to him. What were your impressions? I mean, he's not a big guy, but he seems powerful. The derriere seems to be where the power comes from.
Well, he's got great legs, too. Those thighs are as big as my, well, not as big as my waist, as big as I would like my waist to be, perhaps. But he is a very powerful young man, very humble, too. You know, he made a lot of money there in a very short amount of time. You know what he went out and bought with his first paycheck? A Japanese car. Does he know that?
I love that here.
Does he know that his owner makes an American-style car?
He has enough money to buy several of them, and hopefully some of them will be American cars. But his parents are here. Barry Sanders, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner, and who decided to forego his senior year. And actually, when you look at the Lions offense and how much they need him, is that the Lions scored last year 16 touchdowns fewer than what Barry Sanders scored in his junior year at Oklahoma State.
That's an amazing statistic. And with this offense, once he gets comfortable and once he gets in shape, football shape that is, he'll score a lot of touchdowns for the Detroit Lions.
Cardinals will receive, however, as we start the second half. Gene Stallings told us last night, he says, you know, we might have lost 5 games at the end of last year to finish 7-9. As Sikahema lines up along with Ernie Jones. Sikahema on the left, Jones on the right. Rubbing the ball up again is Murray, as he did when the game started.
As if he needs it. He's got one of the strongest legs in all of football, but what that does, it just gives him a little bit better feel for the ball, and he'll really send it.
He's accounted for the 3 points for the Lions. Del Greco with 2 field goals for the Cardinals. By Sikahema at the 5. Works his way up to the 27-yard line. Carl Painter making the tackle. So Gary Hogeboom, who was 10 of 17 for 127 yards. He has had his injury problems in the past, and he's taking over for Neil Lomax, who is upstairs. He was working on the field before the game, so the specter of Lomax still exists for the Cardinals, who are starting really a new era with Hogeboom and Tom Tupa backing him up. First down on the 27 for the Cardinals. Stump Mitchell gets the call, finds a hole up the middle, and is stopped by William White, and he prevented Mitchell from getting a first down. The tackle at the 35.
You talked about the injury problems that Hogeboom has had. He's dislocated this right elbow 3 times. And for a quarterback, that is really tough to overcome. But he wears that sleeve, gives him a little bit of warmth, and you know how he dislocated a couple times trying to make a tackle after interceptions.
2nd and 2, that 8-yard run was the longest of the day for the Cardinals. Stump Mitchell gets hit, but not before he gets first down yardage beyond the 40-yard line. So they go with Mitchell here on the first 2 plays. There's Neil Lomax in the middle. He has that arthritic hip, not going to play this year, maybe never again in his career. But what are your thoughts of his presence here with Phoenix?
Well, I like the fact that he's up in the booth. He's away from the players, because when he's on the field, the players are looking at him and wondering, well, what if? What if Neil could play? And that's not the proper situation. They've got to direct all their attention to, hey, Gary Hogeboom is our quarterback now.
Does he like mustard and relish on his hot dog? I don't know that. 1st and 10 at the 42 of the Cardinals. Again, they go to Mitchell. He's carried the ball 3 straight times and gets tripped up and is stopped short of midfield. Chris Spielman on the stop. The word on Earl Farrell. He has an injured left ankle, and he is out for the game. Meanwhile, Eric Williams is shaken up for the Lions. Their starting defensive left end. So Farrell is lost for the game, and we'll take a timeout as the Lions defense has a man down. We'll be back.
If you want to taste something truly sensational, just look for the NutraSweet Swirl. NutraSweet, why so many things taste so good.
Renters, insure your boxer shorts from lightning, theft, fire, and more. Renters insurance covers things like VCRs and TVs, too. Renters insurance, another reason you're in good hands with Allstate.
Introducing McDonald's new country-style McChicken.
I grew up on those homegrown ways, a country style, a down-home taste.
Where I come from, country style means chicken like this. Juicy all-white breast meat, a crispy country coating, and real country seasonings.
I'm not swayed by those big city ways.
New country-style McChicken. Real country-style taste and a brand new way to love it.
That's where I come from. New McChicken.
Renters, insure your pajamas from fire, theft, explosion, and more. Renters insurance covers things like computers and stereos, too. Renters insurance, another reason you're in good hands with Allstate.
Well, Eric Williams is still down on the field. We're going to see how he gets hurt. This is number 24, Craig Wolfley. He's coming in motion. He's going to block Williams, but I want you to keep your eye on this left ankle. Here's the motion. Wolfley gets into him to begin with, but now he's going to roll and land on this ankle. This is either an ankle injury or a knee injury to the left leg, and Williams is still down.
He'll be replaced by Curtis Green. Saints lead the Cowboys in Jimmy Johnson's debut, 21-0 at halftime. The Colts are giving the 49ers a run, 13-10 in the 3rd quarter inside in Indianapolis. Rams in Atlanta are at halftime with LA leading 17-14. Cincinnati and Chicago at Soldier Field are all tied 7-7. Also at the half, Tampa Bay ahead of Green Bay 20-7. Tampa Bay was impressive in preseason, and they've kept it going into the first game of this regular season.
That's a bit of a surprise playing up there in Green Bay that Tampa Bay comes out with such a big lead.
This is the first game of the year. We've had a couple of injuries. Earl Farrell is gone for the game, and Eric Williams is trying to see what his problem is. We have not had any turnovers, which could mark an early game. No turnovers by either team, but we have had 10 penalties in the game and a player ejected. Joe Malinchak was ejected, and I think he is still on the sidelines. We'll see the guy with smoke coming up from his head. We'll know that it's Malinchak who was ejected in a kind of a controversial call.
Well, it was. You've seen a lot of chop blocks and a lot of clips almost in every game, and he came down and clipped Bob Clasby in a very flagrant and cheap shot type of fashion. No need for him to do it. The referee tossed him out of the game.
He did leave the field, so he's not there anymore. I want to remind you, coming up next on CBS Sports, it's the men's final of the U.S. Open. Yvonne Lendl against Boris Becker. Since it starts at 4 o'clock Eastern time, I'm sure Lendl played his golf earlier today instead of after the day. He always plays golf as well as tennis, and Boris Becker, a very tough foe for him in the men's final. Eric Hipple, who is the only other quarterback on the roster right now, along with Bob Gagliano. If they need one, Jim Arnold, the punter, could be pressed into service, although Arnold told us yesterday he doesn't want any of that.
No, in fact, Arnold being a punter, he wouldn't mind taking the entire day off. You know, that's one thing I always wanted to tell my punter, to make him assured that our offense was going to do well. I would tell him, hey, why don't you take the rest of the day off? You're not going to have to punt today. But Arnold's already kicked a couple of times, so that's not the case.
And he's kicked well. So Williams, in his 6th year out of Washington State, who's been a mainstay along the defensive line, is out. Curtis Green, number 62, in there. 2nd down and 4 for the Cardinals on their 48. Wolfley, the first back in, and Ron Wolfley is close to the first down yardage into Lion territory. And the other Williams, Jimmy Williams, the linebacker, making the stop on Wolfley.
Well, this is big part of the Cardinal game plan coming into this game, is they wanted to establish the run to control the ball on the ground. They only ran the ball for about 6 yards in the entire first half. They've yet to throw a pass here in the second half.
Phoenix has rushed for 25 yards already on this drive after 6 yards rushing in the first half. Mitchell going wide. Kofer and Benny Blades forced the play and a loss of about 5 yards back into Cardinal territory. So Kofer makes his presence felt for the first time. Blades has been doing it all game long.
Well, with the addition of Benny Blades last year to this defense, with his great speed, very tough to run outside against him. Also, Kofer is one of the fastest linebackers in all of the game. So you're not going to make a whole lot of money going wide against the Lions. They lost 2 yards that time. Where the Cardinals are most effective running the ball is between the tackles with their big fullback Farrell and Wolfley and Mitchell.
2nd down and 13 after the loss. Back to the Cardinal 49. Here's the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Still 6-3 Phoenix. Hogeboom. He has Wolfley, the fullback, out of bounds. And hit hard as he went out of bounds by Benny Blades. That's the way he plays football, whether it's the sideline or middle of the field.
He really delivered a blow that time, and that's what he's all about.
Brian Blades, of course, his brother, did not get burdened with the kind of name that Benny did. And
well, Benny is older, and he was the first one named. I asked him, you know, here you are, Benny. Your name is Horatio Benedict. What did your parents name your brother Brian? He said Brian Keefe.
He's the wide receiver for Seattle. They played against each other a couple of times. 3rd down and 6 on the Lion 44. Hogeboom has J.T. Smith, and I think Smith has the first down. Let's see where they spot it. The forward yardage should be enough for him, and I think it is. Another reception by Smith. Making the play was Jerry Holmes.
And this is a real controversial mark by this referee here on the far side. Hogeboom showing a lot of poise after this first quarter got through, where he didn't complete anything. He's been on the mark ever since. That was a very questionable mark by the referee.
Those are the numbers by Hogeboom so far. He's played within himself, 12 for 19, 141 yards, and 6 catches by J.T. Smith for 71 yards. 1st and 10 on the 37 of the Lions. Stump Mitchell. He got by Gibson, the inside linebacker, and picked up some extra yardage to the 31, short of a first down by about 3.5 yards. Jimmy Williams made the tackle for the Lions with help from Terry Taylor, the cornerback.
Well, Williams is a guy that was either going to get cut this year or traded. Indianapolis Colts were very interested for a short period of time. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that aren't made. The guy playing ahead of Jimmy Williams was George Jameson. Well, he's out with an ankle injury. Lions are lucky they didn't make the trade or cut Jimmy Williams.
Lions' best part of their defense is the linebacking spot, without question. 2nd and 4. Mitchell Short of a first down by about 1.5 yards as the Lions closed. Chris Spielman. Here's another guy, Spielman, who's had a sprained ankle. He's been like a caged animal, not getting a chance to play much in preseason. He's out of Ohio State and an overachiever and really one of those ferocious guys.
Well, and when you talk about players to the coaches, and you have a coach describe a certain player as a piece of work, as linebacker coach Woody Woodenhofer told me about Spielman, you know you got something special here. A piece of work, he called it.
I never heard of a player called that before. 3rd down and 2 on the 30. Wolfley flagged down. Wolfley will have the first down unless the penalty is against the Cardinals, and it may be. He may have a legal motion.
Illegal motion, right guard, 3rd down.
That's Lance Smith.
Well, that time the Cardinals went on a longer count and sent Roy Green in motion, and Lance Smith was just a little quick getting off. Let's take a look at it. There he is, his head sticking up above the rest of the linemen. He gets down too late, never got set at the line of scrimmage.
Cardinals had the first down, but the penalty nullifies it, so they send it back to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 7. Gene Stallings, Tom Tupa, Jim Schaffner. They're the penalty stories, 11 for nearly 100 yards. Lawrence Pete, the 5th-round pick out of Nebraska, a rookie now in the defensive line, number 96. Out of the shotgun is Hogeboom. Hogeboom's pass, Holmes can't make the interception. Ernie Jones was the intended receiver, and it was Holmes. Ernie Holmes was quite a player, wasn't he? With the Pittsburgh, Woody Woodenhofer will remember him. Anyway, Holmes made a terrific play over there for the Lions.
Really did. That ball was up in the air for, it seemed like an eternity, as Jerry Holmes looked for it, couldn't quite make the interception.
Remember Fats Holmes? He played against Fats a couple of times.
Is that the guy with the arrow that was cut into his haircut there? He told me one time to quit running around out there. I quit for about 14 years.
Jerry Woods is back. Rich Camarillo punting. He wants to keep it in the field. Fair catch called for. And it is down at the 10 by Jerry Woods. So the Lions have their chance, trailing 6-3 when we return.
In this package is over 40 years of experience in overseas shipping and access to more air routes worldwide. Because Flying Tigers has changed its stripes and merged with Federal Express to form the largest all-cargo airline in the world.
For a bear of a thirst, I reach for it first. I can drink a lot more, and it settles the score. 4 fingers, number 7, the taste is pure heaven. It's the drink of the moon. It's playing altitude. It moves Louis' lips.
It shakes Eric's hips.
So look out, Pepsi, the move is on. Now we're singing the Diet Coke song.
Diet Coke has the real cola taste you can drink a lot more of because it's just 1 calorie.
Yo, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Even when the noise stops, this headache just keeps going. I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but today I take Advil. Advil stops my headaches, and it's gentler to my stomach than aspirin. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Gene Barry is Pat Masterson. Hugh O'Brien is Wyatt Earp. John Schneider is Pat Garrett. Western legends unite to save Lee Horsley in a world premiere. Paradise, A Gathering of Guns, tonight.
Wayne Fonts and company on the sideline.
I'm not so sure this is what they mean by the silver stretch. This is Coach Dave Levy and Jerry Wampler giving a new meaning to the silver stretch, Sanzabelt style. I can only say that because they're both very good gentlemen, friends of mine. I hope. Still.
At least you were. First down on the 10. This is the worst starting field position for the Lions all day. Trailing 6-3. Bob Gagliano. And that's dropped by Chadwick. Now the crowd getting on the Lion receivers. They have dropped a few today.
So has Jeff Chadwick. He's dropped a few, and that ball was right in his hands. My question is, why are you wearing gloves? If you can't trust the feel of your own fingers against the pigskin, then you've got problems as a wide receiver. He's got these gloves on. They got some tackiness to the inside, but I believe that you've got to trust your own feelings in your own fingers.
It's tacky to wear gloves indoors, in other words. Meanwhile, the crowd, you know, at the end of the first half when the Lions went to the dressing room, the crowd started chanting Barry, Barry, and we've heard it again here in this third quarter. 2nd and 10. Mobley, one of the slot backs, was in motion. Gagliano being chased by Freddie Joe Nunn, running for his life. Diving to the 21, good enough for a first down for the Lions. 11-yard gain, and waiting in the wings on the sideline is Barry Sanders. Signed a $9 million contract plus, the highest paid Lion in history.
Wearing number 20, Billy Sims' old number. We asked him about whether he requested that number or not, and here he's coming up to Fonts.
You'll hear the cheer. It'll be the next play, perhaps. First down on the 21. Gagliano's been the leading rusher today for the Lions. Here is Tony Page. Flag is down, maybe holding as Page gets to the 24-yard line. A gain of a couple. It was Ken Harvey, Cardinal linebacker, on the tackle.
Holding, number 65.
Eric Andolsek, the left guard. By the way, the other guard is Ken Dallaflor. He came in for Milichak, who was ejected.
And what this penalty does, two things. It moves the Lions back, but it also keeps this guy on the bench. If they had made a anyway half-decent gain there, we might have seen Sanders.
So the crowd hoping that the Lions get better field position so that Barry Sanders can make his NFL debut.
You sure they're not yelling Darryl, Darryl? Are we in Boston? Are they yelling at Darryl Strawberry again?
Or Darryl Rogers, the former coach here. I don't think they're saying that. First down and 20. Back to the 11. Gagliano going deep. He was going for Mobley, who was double covered by Mack and Michael Zordich. That'll bring up third down, or second down and 20.
You know, the Cardinals secondary is doing a wonderful job of sticking with these little quick receivers. Being down on the field before the game, I felt that the Cardinal defensive backs might have trouble because they're so big and physical looking. Whereas you look at the little tiny wide receivers, all these guys 5'9" and 5'7" of the Lions, I felt that these guys have got an advantage because of their size and quickness.
Well, Richard Johnson told us yesterday, he says, I think it's an advantage being 5'8".
Yeah, he feels that he can get off the bump and run on the line of scrimmage, but what they're not doing is getting open down the field.
Carl Painter, number 26, the back. There's the stretch from the end zone on second down and $1 million, and Painter picks up a couple. So it'll be third and long. We came very close to seeing Barry Sanders come in the field, but there was a penalty, and he has to now wait a while. Cardinal defensive unit with Harvey in there as a pass rusher along with Nunn. They've improved that department. Their linebackers are superb with all number ones, and the problem has always been the cornerbacks, and Gagliano obviously trying to take advantage of that today, but Carter and Cedric Mack have played well.
Well, and the pressure that the Cardinals are giving Gagliano is really good pressure. They're not letting him get outside. Their defensive ends are getting up the field and containing him.
Third and 17. Gagliano has thrown 6 straight incompletions. He has that to Mel Gray. Needs some open room. Gets by McDonald. Mel Gray, first down and more. 30-yard gain. And Mel Gray made it happen himself. Roland Mitchell on the stop.
This is a look from the end zone. Now, Mel Gray is a great kick returner and a great punt returner. This is that type of ability being shown here. He's going completely away from the flow and uses great speed to outrun the cornerback and get down and get that first down. And now, again, we hear the Barry cheer. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in there real soon.
Here it is. Sanders in his debut.
Well, they told us about a little play action pass where they'll fake the ball to him on the run and maybe go up top.
Let's see. 2nd and 10 on the 44.
But again, the 30-second clock ran down and almost ran out before Gagliano was forced to call a timeout.
A timeout called. So Barry Sanders just wants to run one play. That's all. Then he'll go from there.
This is a machine built for absolute dependability. And these are its hardest working parts, each meeting the highest performance standards, providing continuous, reliable service. The mechanics of American Airlines, uncompromising professionals, dedicated to perfection, flight after flight after flight.
Mystery he couldn't unravel.
I heard from one of you guys you caught a good one. Face-down taxpayer, back of the head in his own bed.
A woman like he had never known.
She's a suspect, Frank. Just walk away.
I believe in love at first sight. I believe in this.
A choice he would have to make.
There's some psycho woman out there killing guys.
Al Pacino.
Don't you move!
Sea of Love. Rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
If you want to taste something truly sensational, just look for the NutraSweet Swirl.
Oh, you start me up, don't ever quit. NutraSweet the one, give me just a little bit. Ooh, I need a taste of, yeah. NutraSweet, give me just a taste.
NutraSweet, why so many things taste so good.
The Fighting Illini, they stunned USC. Now they'll try to topple Colorado. The season premiere of college football on CBS Sports next Saturday.
Lions have used a timeout, but Barry Sanders would like to duplicate what his namesake Deion Sanders did in his first NFL appearance. A 68-yard punt return for a touchdown, and here he is. 2nd and 10. Lions on their 44. Cardinals lead 6-3. There's the play action. Gagliano. And we're going to have a flag down. Jason Phillips was interfered with. Michael Zordich, and it'll be first down. You called it.
Pass interference, number 38, first down.
Well, everybody expected Sanders to get the ball. This is a great call. Little fake here. Sanders getting out of the way. And now a fine pass. And Zordich going up over the top. Just got too much helmet of Jason Phillips that time. Jason Phillips, only 5'7", was tall enough that time to get the call for the pass interference.
But the Lions have a first down on the Cardinal 29 with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. Phillips goes in motion. Here's Sanders with his first carry. Listen to him.
Well, you talk about restoring the roar. Barry Sanders does it in one carry, 18-yarder. And if he isn't running backwards when he makes contact, he may go into the end zone. Watch this. Roland Mitchell grabs him with his back turn.
And that 18-yard run is the longest of the game. 1st and 10, just beyond the 10-yard line. Sanders gets maybe a yard or two. This 40,000 crowd, or whatever they are, we did not get the official attendance figures yet. Sounds as if there are 70,000 here.
They're very excited, and they were on their feet for that last play to get a better look at Barry Sanders.
In his NFL debut, Barry Sanders, who just signed the other day, comes into the game with 5:32 to go in the third quarter, and on his first carry gets 18 yards for the Detroit Lions.
That was a yawn of anxiety right there.
Yeah, he's not tired or bored. That's for sure.
I don't think so.
2nd and 8. Richard Johnson in motion. Again, Sanders inside the 5. It'll be 3rd and short. But already you can tell that Barry Sanders looks like he's a runner.
This is what the Lions want to do when they get inside the 20-yard line. They want to run the ball. They weren't successful on their first drive. They had to settle for a field goal. But now they've got a back that they feel get him in that end zone.
And look how all of them just hit his helmet. They're giving him all the encouragement in the world. I mean, he spent yesterday after practice with Dave Levy going over the plays, going over the film. They can still get a first down without scoring on 3rd and 3. Sanders. Touchdown.
From the end zone, Barry Sanders is going to shake off 2 tackles here. Here's Mike Zordich. He's no match, and now he's into the end zone. 4 carries in a row, and Sanders is in for his first touchdown. This is just beautiful to watch. Great power there. And now he knows exactly how to get into that pay dirt.
It has been years since the Detroit crowd has been this excited about the Lions, and Barry Sanders has given them a shot in the arm. It is 9-6. Eddie Murray, out of Jim Arnold's hold, will try to give the Lions a 10-6 lead. He does. Barry Sanders averaged 7 yards a carry, and William Clay Ford applauds with the rest of the throng and stands with them as well.
Open your eyes up!
Hey, check out the old timer.
Come on, will you? Come on! I got it. I got it. I got it.
It was the chance of a lifetime.
I know.
Buy that man a Miller beer.
Hey, see if you can hang on to this.
The best comes shining